Yo, people, welcome back to the channel, and the championship is back. Come on, the mighty town. You already know, people. You already know. But yeah, so championship is back. Championship football is back. Oh wow, we have missed it. How we have missed it. Let's get straight into it. The first game, Blackburn take on Preston. Blackburn, they lost to Burnley in the last game, just last game just before the World Cup break, right? And which was not a good thing for them. Um, but they have been iffy. I would say Blackburn at home they are exceptional, but away from home they have not been that good. Good. But if they win at home, this will be the seventh consecutive time they have won at home in front of their home fans. Um, but same Sam Barnes is is out for Blackburn. If we look at Preston, they failed to extend their four game winning run, with them losing to Millwall 4-2 just before the World Cup. But um, Preston, they have experienced all sorts of problems at the back, especially in the last league match where they conceded 4 goals. Um, but um, Yeah, for injury wise, both Ben Whiteman and Troy Parrott are out for Preston. So I'm backing Blackburn. Will they continue? Will they, of course, if they can win this, this could mean them possibly pushing for that playoff spot out and securing it. So yeah, we will see. We'll see what happens around that. But my prediction, as many people are predicting, I'm going to say a 2-1 to Blackburn. Um, so yeah, next game is Rotherham versus Bristol City. Now, Rotherham, of course, their home stadium is called the New York Stadium. Just want to that there. But both teams are of almost level on points in the championship. Uh, Rotherham have had the ups and downs, of course, them beating Sheffield United, who would have expected that. Of course, they beat them 1-0, I believe. And then they lost to Norwich City, which was not a huge shock, but it was after beating Sheffield United, you would think maybe a draw at least as Norwich. But yeah. And of course, they drew with the mighty Town. Um, so yeah, Luton. If you know, just saying Luton because I maybe someone thinks I'm talking about Huddersfield, but yeah. Forward Georgie Kelly will miss out of a hamstring problem for Rotherham. That's the only absentee for them. If we look at Bristol City, um, they don't really look sharp. They have been failing to win their previous 5 league fixtures. And they seem to be evenly matched. Um, I was thinking 1-1 on, but thinking in hindsight, it might be 2-1, but I'm still going to stick with 1-1. That's my prediction. But I can see if people are going to say Aurora 1, I can see why. Because for Bristol City, they got a loads of key injuries. George Tanner is banned for this match. Thomas Callas and Cal Naismith are both out with injuries. So interesting. That is interesting that both teams. So I'm going to say 1-1. If you guys think maybe 2-1 Rotherham, that's a good shout. I just don't think Bristol can win this game. If I'm going to be honest, they're coming off 2 draws. most, but they haven't won in 5 games. That's a big thing. Um, Now we move on to Reading versus Coventry, because this is played at Reading's ground. On Coventry, they are on a 4-match winning streak. Let me, yeah, Coventry 4-match winning streak. I think they are on. So yeah, let's see, and they they eyeing for fifth consecutive league win, but being Reading on the road is easier said than done. So, a close encounter is on the cards at um, they at the of course where they're playing at the Reading ground, the Select Car Leasing Stadium. Don't know why they called it that. Um, and I'm going to say a draw, but Coventry will be out. Well, will be without Takati Dabu uh, Diabu. I think so. Martin Wagon and Matt Gordon. Yeah. So yeah. But if you look at the home team rating, um, these two are also level on points in the championship table. Um, Reading are they desperately need a win, and but unfortunately, it seems like it. Sorry, no, we got this mixed up. They desperately needed a win against Hull City before the World Cup break, and they did manage to get one of the team putting an end to the 4-match winless run. One, so yeah, yeah, all but some McIntyre, Nabisar, and Scott Dan are out of contention with injuries for the home side. Well, Amma William, Junior Alton, and Baba Rahman are back from international duty. Shout out to Baba Rahman. So yeah, I'm thinking this is one of those high scoring games, and I'm going to say 2-2 draw. Again, I'm going to back a draw in this game. Now we move on to Blackpool versus Birmingham. Can Birmingham push for the playoff spots? It's going to be tough after this game. But let's look at Blackpool. Blackpool will be looking to bounce back after a 2-1 loss to Wigan, and just before the last match, just before the World Cup break. They are on a 4-match losing run in the championship of Blackpool. Hmm. But it could be the changing point for Blackpool this game. Um, but important defender Marvin Ekipita Patea is banned for this match. I think ban means like I think they got 5 yellow cards, I believe. And with James Husband, Jordan Thornley, Keisha Anderson, Lawrence Gabriel are out with injuries. Now, if we look at Birmingham, of course they lost to Sunderland before the World Cup break, but they are capable of beating any team on the day. Birmingham, they are out of Gardner and Pres- Prezel Slater, I believe is how you say his name, are sidelined for injuries as well as defender um, Ari Arlie Dean. But Hannibal, um, Hannibal, of course, is back from international duty. He should, and we should also bear in mind Blackpool rolled them over last season 6-1. Um, But for me, different situation. Blackpool, Birmingham, they should do it. Don't say 2-1 to Birmingham. And if we look also uh, Oh, not matches between the teams to be fair. Um, and yeah, now we move on to the My Town versus Middlesbrough. This is of course Rob Edwards' last game. First game, not last game. First game for Luton. Luton, Luton. Interesting that he said that it has kind come out that um, that they will make no signings in January, which could be good or bad thing for Luton. Good in a sense that it gets to know the group, and there's more unity between the group and him. But also bad in terms of injuries, of course. They got a few injuries, so that we'll get into that. But first, let's look at Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough, they of course I believe they. Wait, did I already beat? Yeah, they beat Norwich 2-1, of course. Forgot about that. Um, but Borough have been in fine form of late, and there's no under the bookies as them as favourites to win on Saturday. Uh, but midfielder Riley McGreen is back from international duty with Australia. Oh, there's no fresh injury worries for Middlesbrough. But if you look for Luton, that is on the access on the other end. It's into the match following a 1-1 draw with United. Uh, yeah. No, that is true. I forgot about. I just have this the Bristol City game in my head. And, but yeah, Rob Edwards. Not it wasn't Rob Edwards, man. It was just before Rob Edwards took over. They lost to Stoke in the last away game, and given that Middlesbrough are in fine form, I think Middlesbrough might win. But yeah, both Tom Lockyer and Ethan Orvath are back from international duties with Wales and USA respectively. All Dan Potts, Sonny Bradley, Henry Lansbury, and Reece Berg and James Shear should miss out of injuries. I believe Reece Berg is back. I don't know how true that is. I think Tyler or some of if you guys know, just confirm in the chat. Um, but yeah, now the next game is, but sorry, my prediction. The bookies favor Middlesbrough, but I reckon they can do this. I reckon the Mighty Town can do it. One or lose, and it's Rob Edwards' first game. They're going to be up for it. Away fans are also going to be up for it. And so yeah, let's look now. We will move on to Millwall versus Wigan. That's the big game. A big game this weekend for both sides. Let's get into Millwall. Of course, they got a heavy defeat to Sunderland, 3-0 defeat to Sunderland last week. I think on the 7th, on I can't remember the day. Uh, I did somewhere last week. I think yes, the 27th. I think I don't know. But they will look to get back on course in the championship when they face Wigan. Millwall have a chance to climb into the playoffs, um, or up there close to the playoffs. Let me look. Millwall. Now, if they win and they get to another teams above them, do lose or draw, they can go there. Um, but they will probably more. They will probably be attacking versus Wigan, and there's no injuries, no fresh injuries, but still, Benakev Obiv, I think is how you say his name. Don't check me on that. He's still in injury. He's still injured, but yeah, there's no fresh injuries. Meanwhile, Wigan aim to build on a 2-1 win over Blackpool they got, but given their poor winless run on the road, we are tempted to put. I am tempted to put my money on Millwall. Uh, all Ben Amos and Tom Pearce and Ryan Naben are sideline injuries. Speak and yeah, and they lost two meetings in the championship 2 years ago. We can defeat Millwall thanks to a Sean Hutchinson goal in the meaning Millwall they might be up for this game and trying to get revenge after they lost the weekend in that match. For me, I'm going to back Millwall. I reckon Millwall can do it. Yeah, I'm going to say 1-0 to Millwall. So yeah, Sheffield. Yes. Next game is Sheffield United versus Huddersfield. We got yeah, few games left. One, two, three, four, five, six games left. Still quite a few to get through. Um, so yeah, so if we look at Sheffield United, of course, both teams are on opposite sides of the 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 table, and both teams have opposite ambitions. With Huddersfield, they just trying to not get rele- relegated, and Sheffield United they want to get promotion. Um, but late offender Jack Robinson has joined the likes of Ryan, Ryan Brewster, Tommy Doyle, um, Orrington Davies, Daniel Gibson, Sander Burge, Jack O'Connell in the recovery room. So they got a few big injuries for Sheffield United. The good news for for Sheffield United is that Senegal international um, Ilian Nade is um, not good news for that. Oh, yeah. In the eye is back from international duty. The relegation strugglers, on the other hand, are stuck at the bottom of only 19 points on their account. And seeing that Sheffield United have turned their Bramall Lane into a real fortress, we are tempted to put, no, not we. I am tempted to put my money on Sheffield United winning. I think most people are. Oh, as uh, for injuries for Huddersfield Town, they got Oliver Turton, Utah Nakama, and Patrick Jones are out of contention through injuries. Um, so big injuries for Sheffield United, which can mean maybe Huddersfield can get a win, but I'm not going to pick or maybe get a draw, but I'm going to say 3-0 Sheffield United. Um, yeah, it's just last season Sheffield Huddersfield Town did beat Sheffield United um, at Bramall Lane 2-1, so maybe Huddersfield Town upset. You never know, you never know. But I'm going to say 3-0 to Sheffield United. 3-0. Reckon they should cruise past Huddersfield Town. But do get your predictions in the chat or in the comments. And so yeah. To move on to Stoke City versus Cardiff City. Big game for both teams, I believe. What Stoke City they in 17th, and of course Cardiff. Um, yeah, Cardiff it's- they are in 19th, so both of them will look to get a win to just give them some space between the between like the relegation. But Stoke City, of course, they have had their ups and downs before the World Cup break, and with them beating both Wigan and Luton while losing to Birmingham and West Brom, it it's going to be interesting for them. But Australia international Irish shooter who had a great tournament at the World Cup is back, but it comes too early for Nick Powell, who limped off of the injury in the defeat to West Brom. For Cardiff at the end, sorry, no. Experience for Dwight Gale is widely expected to replace Powell in the starting 11. But for Cardiff, on the other hand, suffered a dip in form and given their difficulties at the back in back to back losses to Hull City um, and Sheffield United, I think Stoke can win this. Both um, Pel- Pellegrine, Bidens, and Isaac Davies missed out with injuries for the away side. Don't quote me on how I pronounce these names, please, people. Um, but yeah, so next game is what's the next game? Oh, let me just check. Sorry, no, it's not 2-1 Stoke. It's no. Sorry, no. I've gone with a no. So just because most of their fixtures head to head is no has been draws. So yeah, sorry about that. That's looked at the other game. It's no. That game, and that's my prediction 0-0. Because head to head mostly it's been 0-0 for both teams. So yeah. Uh, we'll move on to Swansea versus Norwich. If you know, you know. Swansea in the mud always, people. No love here for Swansea. But yeah. Swansea do not seem to be at the top of the game right now. The team ailing to win the last five league fixtures, and that is probably the main reason why I own one. Probably is not on the cards for them. Joe Allen remains on the sideline for muscle problem, but he should be the only injury for them. Norwich, on the other hand, aim to recover from a 2-1 loss to Middlesbrough and seeing that they will go for another one and Insider's Clash as well. We are going. I am going to put my money on both. No, sorry, I'm not going to put my money on both teams to score because I believe I've said a 1-0 Norwich. Yeah, I have. But for Norwich, Josh Sargent is back from international duty while Andrew Omo Balamilde, Adam Dia, and John Rowe and Jacob Sorensen remain in the treatment room. So big injury concerns for Norwich. I think this will be a tough game, but I think Norwich will do it. Of course, if we look at Swansea, they drew the last three games and then lost one and then drew the fifth game. So yeah, but we move on to probably the biggest clash this weekend, and it's QPR versus Burnley. Um, so yeah, let's get a look into this. What's going on with QPR and Burnley? But yeah, QPR are aim to put an end to their three-game losing run, and they were positive, uh, and they are positive, and they should be positive that they can and do something with Burnley, but it should be. Um, Tyler Roberts remains on the sidelines with a calf injury, but the Burnley will be determined to secure automatic promotion to the Premier League. Of course, they top of the table. The league leaders provide their worth in a thrilling 3-0 win over Blackburn. And so, yeah, that's the Anas Zaro Roy, I think is how you say it, I don't know, is on international duty with Morocco, while Connor Roberts is back in contention following Wales' elimination in the World Cup group stage. Uh, Jay Rodriguez, Darko Charlo Zovo, Scott Twine, and Ashley Westwood should miss out with injuries. So yeah, some injury concerns for Burnley, but I reckon they can do this with Cooper just being not great at the moment. I'm going to say a 2-1 to the Burnley. Now we move on to Trafford versus Hull City. Come on, though, but it's probably not going to happen, if I'm honest. But yeah, we move. Uh, Let me just get. So yeah. Patel City, they are. Oh, sorry, Watford. Sorry, Watford. Um, Watford played out a goalless draw with Bristol City before the World Cup break, but they are seen as favourites to beat Hull City in front of their own fans. Ismail Assar is back from international duty, but the Senegal winger could start on the bench while Daniel Beckham, Imran Lazo, Jeremy Nakikaya, Tom Cleverley, Ray Mania, mess out of interest. Don't quote me on how I pronounce these players' names. But Hull City, on the other hand, are not enjoying a season to remember. Team sitting in the danger zone ahead of matchday 22, and given their poor display in the 2-1 loss to Reading at home, 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 home one for Watford should be expected. Oscar Estupane misses out through suspension while all Avivale, Verkovel and Benjamin Tate remain on the sidelines with injuries. One sec, people, give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that. Um, but yeah, where was I? So yeah, Oscar Estupane Estupinian misses out through suspension for Hull City, while Vale, Koval, Benjamin Tite remain on sidelines for Hull City. So interesting. My prediction 3-1 Stratford, unfortunately. I, they just don't look good this season. If we look now, we move on to Sunderland versus West Brom. This is the last game. This game will be playing on Monday. So yeah, um, uh, uh, Sunderland have been in fine form of late, with the team beating both Birmingham and Millwall in the previous two league games. They are surely capable of matching the Baggies on home soil. Good news for those is that both um, Joyson Benetton, who played for Costa Rica, and Bailey Wright for Australia are back from international duty. While West Brom have been showing signs of improvement of late, the team winning each of their last three league matches, but being Sunderland on the road is easier said than done. A close encounter is on the card at the Stadium of Light. Um, there's no fresh injuries concern, no fresh injury concerns um, in the way team two. So yeah, for me again, I think it will be a high-scoring game. I'm gonna say 2-2 draw in this game. So yeah, that's all the games. Be up yourselves as always for tuning in and watching this. Do make sure to drop a like, share the channel, and subscribe if you are new. And yeah, I will end the video here. Be up yourselves as always, and I will see you all in a bit. But come on, my town.